Moving over to Manchester City, they reportedly rejected a few 30 million plus bids from German clubs for James McAtee. Is this to you a sign of potential change in stance towards selling academy players? We've seen them do it with Cole Palmer, a couple of goalkeepers. They've been happy to take that profit, boost their PSR, and go spend it elsewhere in the market. But does this kind of maybe show with maybe a new technical director a different approach to this?
I think you probably mean, what a lot of people have been thinking is players like Cole Palmer, it's come back to bite them that they've let them go. And I think that is the case with McAtee. I think he's had a little run recently, and he's proven to be a real player beyond his years. In fact, I think he certainly is quality. There's no doubt there was interest from a number of clubs in this window, testing City to see if they let him go. I do think he's one they're going to hang on to. And I think they have been felt they've been bitten a little bit in terms of some of the players they've let go too early. It's always difficult with an academy. I've been through this situation many times when you sit there with your academy and you have to make that decision as to who you're going to keep and who you're going to let go. As I say, I've been bitten a few times when players can come back to haunt you, and they do mature, because players mature at different rates at that age group. You never quite know. But I think McAtee's shown all the signs of one worth keeping. But of course, he'll want first team football as well. And that's always a difficult thing for a squad and for young players. We're seeing younger players now are the real must-have situation in terms of trading. I think there was a big move towards younger players in this particular window as well. Not many over 25 getting traded, although there were a few. But I think that's where we're going to see the main focus this summer is players of a certain age group. And so it's going to be difficult for managers to manage that and say, you can't always promise them, don't worry, you're going to break through in due course. You've got to give them game time as well nowadays, because the players can play.
And on the flip side of things, Man City spent over 200 million during this transfer window, brought in a ton of players, young players, defenders, kind of addressed a bunch of different positions. To me, this kind of spells a little bit maybe of some trouble ahead, or at least preparing in case there is trouble ahead, especially also keeping James McAtee, just kind of making sure that the squad is nice and full in case anything comes. Do you feel like that might be the case?
I don't necessarily agree on that. I think it's about 187 million is what I counted. You could be right. It could be closer to 200, but it's a big number, and it's about half the activity for the whole transfer window. I think there's two things going on when I look at it. I think everybody, including Pep, has been surprised at the recent spell of games that have gone on. I didn't think he saw that coming, and I think his plans and the sporting director's plans for the squad would have meant gradual rebuilding, which I think I've said many times is what they'd always planned for. Around January in the summer, they would always do a rebuild, but now they've had to make some pretty dramatic surgery pretty quickly. And it is all about strengthening the squad. It's trying to salvage the second half of the season. They're still in the Cups, they're still in Europe. Big game in Europe coming up against Real Madrid. But if they can get through that, then of course there is, untold riches as usual in the Champions League. There's 40, 50 million yet to be had. So it could be even more than that. So I think they've decided, look, let's really have a go at it. And also they've got to maintain business as usual regarding the lawsuit in the background and the whole charges issue with the Premier League. They're going to carry on business as usual, and this is a big sign of doing that. And so I think those two things of carrying on, business as usual, and trying to salvage the second half of the season are, I think, what's really going to go on. But certainly they're in a great position. If they have to offload players, they've got quality and value. I don't think the wages are too ridiculous compared to some of the Man United deals. And so I think City could offload if they had to, if things did come to a head.
And we know they had a lot of room for PSR, obviously with the Alvarez sale this past summer and in previous sales. Are they still in a good shape even after this 187 million window?
Yeah, they are. Look, I looked at City over the last 3 years, which is the whole PSR judgment, and they've done really well. I mean, they have sold players that you sometimes forget about, Zinchenko, etc. And so it gives them a lot of breathing room, and there still is. And I still expect in the summer to be some disposals as well. So they've been very, very good at trading. They've been very good at that. They've also, had the big bonuses of great European, going far in European competitions. So adding that together as well, the club has done well financially. It's been almost a model in that sort of case. And so, they've still got room, and they've got plenty of room, obviously, in January. But there's still many pounds to be spent in the summer.
And Man City seem ready to include Rodri in the Champions League squad. How significant is that? Because I feel like we all thought he was done for the season.
Yeah, that is surprising. It's obviously good news for them. They obviously would not give up a space in the squad unless they thought there was a chance of a comeback. So let's see. I don't think it's wishful thinking. I don't think they would make that sort of statement just to cheer him up. So let's see what comes. But hopefully it's good news. You never like to see players injured, and we're certainly missing his quality. And so it'd be good to see him come back. But I think it would be great if that is the real reason behind it.